What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. What is going on? Yeah, of course, we did have a very interesting episode yesterday, and today back to normalcy to a degree. But before we get into today's show, I actually have a number of small news topics to get into today that are completely unrelated to all of the Oculus situation that has been going on over these last couple of days now. Completely unrelated, and we're going to get to all of that. I also have my impressions of the Witching Tower VR, which is releasing tomorrow. So I have some first impressions of that as well. But before we get into both of those topics, before we get into these things, I wanted to cover a couple of, hold on a second here. Okay, a couple of comments on yesterday's episode. And so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the web browser over here like this. Okay, so here is Charles Van Nolen. PCVR isn't freaking dying. So that is Charles Van Nolen weighing in. Alan Harrington is weighing in, and he's basically kind of agreeing with a lot of the stuff I was talking about. And then let's see here. Someone had an interesting comment that I wanted to get into. Let's see, what was it? Where did I see it? Now I'm not seeing it. Maybe it was a reply to one of these comments. Oh yeah, okay, here it was. This is Chris Cox. So this is the comment that I want to address directly. I really hope Chris Cox is watching this, or maybe he's in chat, because he's in chat often. And here's what he had to say. He said, "Glad I wasn't in live chat for this one. Pretty frustrating to listen to. All this doom and gloom from one article. Facebook has said multiple times up to and after this article they're working on a new Rift. It might not be out for another 3 or 4 years, or it might not have all the tech we want, but it is still coming either way." Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to get into here. I wanted to talk real quickly about this whole idea, PC VR is dying. And one of the things I wanted to say, first of all, look, I'm going to be kind of sarcastic. There's a number of times, and maybe sometimes it's not obvious that I'm being sarcastic. A number of times during my show yesterday, I kind of joked or quipped about, well, PC VR is dying anyway, so you might as well buy Wardust now. I was kind of joking about it like that. But it wasn't super duper obvious. So I'm sure there's a handful of people out there that literally thought I meant PC VR is dying. And so I just want to go over this one more time real quick. PC VR is not dying. However, we did suffer a major blow. And I completely disagree with those of you out there that think this is much ado about nothing, that this is totally blown out of proportion. I disagree with that. Paradise Decay, now I don't want to call out Paradise. I'm not trying to call you out, Paradise, but he sent me a link to a Ars Technica article. And I'm not sure if Paradise was trying to suggest, look, man, I think you're a little bit overboard here. Let me see if I can resize chat a little bit, actually, because let's see here. Let me see if, because chat, I was meaning to do this the other day, is increase it a little bit. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so Paradise, I'm not sure if Paradise was insinuating that, bro, you're a little bit overboard with this. Calm down. Read this article. Everything is going to be good. And I read the article, the Ars Technica article. And yeah, sure, Facebook and Oculus, they have come out and they have said a lot of things since this rumor started. But of course they would. This is normal. This is what a company would do. This is exactly what they would do. If Facebook internally decided that that their coverage, their investment in the PCVR ecosystem is going to go from wherever it was now to like a 70% drop of what it was, they're not going to make any announcement about that. They're not going to tell anybody about that. That is for them to know, and it's for us to find out at the very last minute. So all the denials and all of the spin that was done, that's expected. That is exactly what we expect. That is normal. There's nothing shocking about that whatsoever. My personal opinion on this, see, I want people to back up for a second and understand this. My personal opinion is nothing is going to change. Nothing is going, like, for the rest of this year and for pretty much all of 2019, we're not going to notice any difference. We're not going to notice any difference whatsoever. I had somebody, it might have been in one of the other episodes, or I mean, it might have been in the 20-minute version of my episode. Somebody was saying, man, I just bought an Oculus Rift like a couple of months ago, and you mean to tell me that PCVR is dying? Let me see if I can find this real quick. 1 second. Let's see. Not seeing it, but somebody was basically saying, man, I just bought an Oculus Rift. This sucks. You're telling me that the Oculus Rift is dead. That is freaking lame. But no, it's not like that. We're not going to notice anything for the rest of this year of 2018. It will be business as normal. And probably for virtually the entire year of 2019, it will be business as normal. Now, here's where I think the real big difference is going to come. The real big difference that is going to come is the high-profile AAA type games like Stormland, like Defector, like Lone Echo 2. Those days are numbered. And that's my personal opinion, and I could be wrong. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Lone Echo 2, Defector, the Respawn game, Stormland, we're not getting much more than that. And those will be scattered over the year of 2019. And so it's not going to seem very bad. No one is really going to notice this hit until 2020. When we get into 2020, you're going to start to notice, wow, what happened to these AAA Oculus games that we were getting every once in a while? Those are gonzo. That's my personal opinion. Those days are gone. That's my personal opinion. I believe all that money is going to be diverted to Oculus Quest development and towards development of maybe a next generation Oculus Quest. I think this is the beginning of the end from Oculus's standpoint, moving away from the PC, but we're not going to perceive any of this until 2020. So there's no panic whatsoever. And then the other thing too is there was a lot of hate that came in on the episode yesterday towards the end of the episode, and that was really fun. Yesterday's episode was a fun episode. I really liked it. That was one for the books. I enjoyed it. And at the very end, there were some haters that came in, and they came in strong, and that was fun as well. But basically what I wanted to try to comment on is, guys, we're adults now, right? We're all adults. Like, most of the people that are watching this channel, I don't think there's anybody under the age of like 25 that is watching this channel. I mean, very few, okay? We're mostly adults here, and a lot of us are middle-aged. A lot of us are older. Some of us are on the back nine, baby. We're on the back nine, some of us. And so what I'm trying to say is, why do we have allegiance to particular companies? Why do we get so emotionally involved in particular companies? And we shouldn't do that. We're not kids anymore. We shouldn't get so emotionally invested in particular companies where if there is a bombshell of some negative news that comes out, it's like, oh my God, no, this can't be happening. No, this is fake news. This is all wrong because, oh my God, you've just shattered my world, my safe little world where everything was beautiful. You just shattered it, and I can't allow that. It's because you've gotten so emotionally invested in one specific company. People talk about VR Roundtable. They call it VR Rift Table. They think that we're all on the Oculus bandwagon because all of us, except for Chris, who happens to be the resident Oculus fanboy of the bunch, he's the only one that still has his HTC Vive. Me, Steve, and Gary all sold our HTC Vives, and everybody thought, we're Oculus Rift, man, that they're 100% Oculus Rift. They're basically shills for Oculus Rift. But see, I don't buy into any one company. I like Sony. I like what Sony is doing on the console side. Hey, when Xbox comes back to VR, I'm willing to welcome them with open arms. If Magic Leap eventually has a product that is priced the right amount, hell, Apple. I can't stand Apple. I have an Apple phone and I use some Apple stuff, but it's like John Carmack. I'm using Apple under duress, basically. I'm not an Apple guy at all. But if Apple brings the thunder, I'll be there for Apple. If it's Google, I'll be there for Google. If HTC Vive makes a comeback and reasserts itself, I'm down with HTC Vive. I'm good with any of this stuff, man. Don't have an allegiance to any company, because this is what happens when you have an allegiance to a company and bad news comes down the pipe. You're either going to go into denial and try not to believe it, or you're just going to be like, oh, no, no, this isn't happening, or it's overblown, all of that. It's a changing of the tide. Deal with it. But it's not going to affect us in 2018. It's not going to affect us in 2019. We are going to get new Rifts. There will be a new Rift. If nothing else, just to save face, they will come out with a new Rift. They'll talk about a new Rift. Oculus is never going to come out and stand up on stage and say, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have decided that there's no money in PC VR. We want a closed ecosystem, and we're going to try to get out of PC VR immediately. Yes, we're making an official announcement. We're getting out of PC VR immediately. They're never going to do that. But over the next 2 years, what you're going to notice is there's going to be a slow backing away. A slow backing away. They're going to start to back away ever so slowly. And that's the reality that we're going to deal with. PC VR is not dying. My Oculus Rift isn't going anywhere. I'm going to be playing great PC VR games for the rest of this year. I'm going to be playing great PC VR games in the year 2019. I'm going to play great PC VR games in the year 2020 and beyond. There will be people to pick up the slack. Now, what we are going to miss, we're going to miss the big exclusives, the Stormlands, the Lone Echo 2s, the Defectors, the Red Matters, the Marvel Powers United VRs. Those are going to be a bit more few and far between. Like if we normally got 10 of those a year, we're now going to get 3 of those a year. So I believe it's going to be like a 70% reduction in that area. And that is huge. It's nothing to shy away from. I mean, that is some real shit. It is an unfortunate thing. So anyway, let's go ahead and switch off of all of this negativity or perceived negativity or whatever. This is Mosh Pit Simulator. And I did see, let me see here. I did see, this was on the Vive subreddit. There are some people talking about this. And we can go ahead and check out the Steam page real quick. Steam page real quick, Mosh Pit Simulator. This is coming on January 15th, 2019. Looks really crazy. Looks really, really weird. It features 1 square kilometer of interactive city to explore and destroy. You have the ability to build and destroy things yourself, rockets, explosives, engines, and other cool stuff to build with. Story mode with probably the most ridiculous plot in video games, saving replays to GIFs, and a bunch of other crap that dude forgot. I mean, it looks like complete and utter madness. Look at this, a great white shark, this weirdo body guy that is slinging all over the place. Here's some of the photos that they have here. I mean, it definitely looks pretty bizarro. I don't know. Sometimes these bizarro games are like a breath of fresh air. Sometimes they don't quite hit the market, or you know, they don't quite hit the target as far as I'm concerned. Very weird. This is very weird. Mosh Pit Simulator. So that is Mosh Pit Simulator. It has been announced. quite interesting, quite unusual for that one. Okay, let's see. What other things did we want to get into? Well, you know what? I might as well go ahead. Why don't we go ahead and jump right into the Witching Tower? Because the Witching Tower does come out tomorrow. And I've got to give you guys my take on the Witching Tower. So let me see. Let me grab a Witching Tower trailer to throw on there. All we have is really this one same trailer that I have. It'd be kind of nice if maybe they have a release day trailer that is more gameplay oriented. That would be pretty good. Okay, so the Witching Tower VR. Let me get my notes up on this other monitor here. Some of the positives and the negatives. Okay, so first of all, I gotta say, my performance with the Witching Tower VR is not good. It is not good. Now, having said that, I can't tell you to write this game off because I don't know for sure that all my PC related issues are wrapped up. I haven't played enough games. I haven't done enough benchmark kind of testing or anything. So I really don't know for sure. And this is kind of on me. This is my fault. I will take full responsibility for this. I don't know for sure if my PC is legitimately up to par in all of the ways that it needs to be. And so I don't want to go too harsh on the Witching Tower VR because I'm not absolutely certain about this. Now, I was trying to reach out to some other people that have played this to try to find out, was your performance kind of bad? Because mine was. Basically, I got into Witching Tower VR and I'm in the game, I'm in the world, and there's a hitchiness, and every once in a while it kind of eases back off and it's kind of cool for a minute, and then there's a hitchiness, there's a stuttering. I experienced it through basically my entire playthrough. And so that's the number one warning I have to say. Now, if this is simply a case of something being wrong with my setup and somebody with a normal setup, they're not going to experience this, then that's a different story. Or maybe the performance of this game just is not that great in general. That could be a possibility. So I have to say that that is out there. Now, the graphics look pretty damn good. The voice acting is pretty decent. That there's actual voice acting. There's a story. You kind of have a comedic sidekick that is joining you on your quest. You basically have this floating skull that makes comments every now and then. The sound design is pretty solid. Graphically, it's pretty solid. There definitely is a mixture here with puzzles and action. Although I'm very early in the game, and for me, being very early in this game, the only combat that I've done is with my torch. You can hold a torch in your hand. I've had these like hellish hounds, you know, these dogs, these Halloween nightmare dogs that have come at me. I've smacked them in their head with my torch. I've had these bats come flying at me. And if anybody remembers Dracula on the Sega CD, and that is a deep ass cut. We're talking 1993 there, Dracula on Sega CD. If anybody played that, these bats are going to remind you of that game. There's bats that are coming at you. I smack them with my torch, knock them down. You only have to hit them a couple of times. You pretty much take them out. That's been the extent of the combat that I've experienced so far in the Witching Tower VR. Now, I've been involved in some puzzles. I've done some minor puzzles here. There actually is quite a bit of puzzles, at least early on. I haven't gotten to the point where I got the sword yet. That's how early I am. I haven't gotten to the point where I've gotten the bow yet. So I am incredibly early in this, just scratching the surface. These are just first impressions. My early take right now is warning. Warning. Will Robinson warning or whatever, because I would say until you know for sure that this game doesn't have performance issues, I would ease up for a second here, because that's my warning on it. Now, what is good about it? Well, you know, back to some of the negatives. So when you first get into the game, you're teleporting everywhere, and then you go into the options. You can turn off teleporting and you can go to smooth locomotion. However, I don't feel like the smooth locomotion, I feel like it's more of an afterthought. Like, I think they mean for you to teleport around this game, and they're going to provide smooth locomotion in the options as an option. but it doesn't feel quite right. Like sometimes you get stuck. Like sometimes it just doesn't feel like the it's not a butter smooth locomotion is what I'm talking about. It's not. Some of these games, you just push forward on your thumbstick, you're moving around, you're smooth as silk, you're flying all over the place, moving really well. This game, not so much. You're going to get stuck on some things and have to kind of reposition yourself with the smooth locomotion. The other problem I had too is the snap turning. I like to have snap turning on, and I go, chick, 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 chick. You do your snap turning, right? The snap turning on this, I would hit the button to do snap turning, and like a couple of seconds later, it would do the snap turning. Yeah, Bram Stoker on Sega CD, that is Main Fan. He remembers those bats, and I'm telling you, Main Fan, if you did play the Witching Tower VR, you would be immediately reminded of Dracula, of the Bram Stoker's Dracula on Sega CD. The bats are very similar. Graphically, it looks good. The sound looks good. This looks like this could be a really good game for somebody that has they've extracted every bit of juice out of Vanishing Realms. They've extracted every bit of juice out of Carnage Chronicles. They're looking for another dungeon crawler, but maybe a dungeon crawler that is a little bit heavier on puzzles. This would not be a bad game at all if it came together, if the performance is right, and if it was working right. I still think it's pretty decent, but I've got to get past these performance issues. I cannot recommend this game currently right now with my performance issues. Yeah, warning Will Robinson. I was a little bit off there, but basically that's what I'm saying here. So it'll be interesting to see. Paradise, I haven't been looking in chat. I don't know. Paradise, have you played this? Because I believe the embargo is over. So I believe if anyone has played the Witching Tower VR, I believe you can talk freely about this. So Paradise, I'm very curious if you've played this, what are your thoughts? If you haven't played this, I would suggest for basically no, I'm not super sampling. I am not super sampling right now. I'm just trying to test my machine out in general before I start doing that. But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on the Witching Tower VR. So I don't know if Paradise has maybe played this at all. What are his thoughts? Did it work great for him? Maybe I'm an anomaly, or I could still be having some potential PC issues. So I'm not going to deny that. Okay, so there's a couple of other things that I want to get into real quick. Let me go ahead and grab another trailer here. And so the next trailer that I'm throwing on the scene on the screen here, this is Lone Echo 2, and this is the announcement trailer for Lone Echo 2. And so the thing about Lone Echo 2 is I tried the Lone Echo 2 trailer on the Oculus Go, and oh my goodness, that is a really cool experience. If you guys have an Oculus Go, absolutely go to the Oculus store, get yourself the Lone Echo trailer that was designed very specifically for the Oculus Go. It is a really cool trailer. I was very impressed. Basically, all you're going to do is you're going to sit down in one spot, you're going to have your Oculus Go headset on, and you're going to experience this trailer, and you're going to be able to look around. Things are going to come close to you. It is a very well done trailer. So much love to this. If you have an Oculus Go, absolutely try this out. Now, the one weird thing about this Lone Echo 2 trailer is I felt like the voice of Olivia was really off. Like, I did not feel like her voice was similar to the voice of the first time I played Lone Echo. Now, maybe the voice is exactly the same, and I simply need to refire up the original Lone Echo, and I actually need to finish the original Lone Echo. I really should go back. It's just hard to go back when there's all these other games coming out. You got to try all these new games. So it's hard to do that, but I should go back to Lone Echo and put that game to bed. I was probably 85% of the way through it. But Olivia, her voice sounded different to me in this trailer on the Oculus Go. That was the only weird thing about it, but everything else was cool. Definitely check it out. Pretty freaking awesome, certainly. And Shirzad Khan City says, why can't they do that trailer for the Rift? They probably can. again, where's Oculus moving to? They're moving towards the standalones, everybody. No, I don't know. I don't know why they don't have that on the Rift right now. I'm sure they could do it. No problem. Okay, so Paradise Decay saying he hasn't had time to play, so he's going to get to it tomorrow. He'll have his take tomorrow because the embargo is up, Paradise. You are slow to the money, Paradise. This isn't like you. Normally you have a video the second the embargo is over. Paradise is slipping a little bit. He's sipping them Mai Tais. He's relaxing. Paradise Decay says her voice was really low. Well, to me, honestly, her voice was kind of masculine to me. Her voice seemed a little bit like, at first, I was thinking what they're saying is that you as the robot, that your hearing wasn't set right and her voice was off. And at some point, I thought her voice was going to like get corrected and be the voice that I remember. And that never happened. Her voice was the same way the whole time. I felt her voice kind of sounded masculine. Maybe this is set like 10 years in the future or something because her hairstyle is totally different. Maybe her voice should be a little bit different. I don't know. I thought it was weird, but it might just be me. Okay, so we got more things to get into. Let me see here. What was one of the next stories I got? Well, obviously, a big news that is going on right now, of course, is this Pimax information. And guys, I am on pimaxvr.com. I believe this is the official website for Pimax. And I gotta say, do they have some banging ass web designers at Pimax or what? Is this one of the most advanced websites you've ever seen, man? This is some awesome high-end graphics. Remember we were looking at Samsung's website the other day for the Odyssey Plus and the nice little advertisements that they made, a very nice breakdown for their Samsung Odyssey Plus on their website, but this website puts that to shame. Pimax is doing big things. Look at this, hot, limited. Look at these graphics, man. Whoa, these are some awesome graphics, bro. So, this is the Pimax website. Now, the big news here, though, is the 5K Plus. You can pre-order it now. It is $699. So it's basically $100 less than we were fearing originally. I think originally we heard it was $800, right? So it's $700. The 5K Plus is $700. The 8K is $900. And then this 5K BE is 1,000 buccarinis, and it is limited. And you gotta love those graphical designs of limited. I mean, wow, they really reached deep into the fonts and colors to make this. So you guys that are putting all your faith in Pimax, I mean, I could go to the do you really trust this company, Pimax, when their website kind of looks like that? But, it's tempting. It's especially tempting when we're in a situation where it looks like any kind of legit CV2 is now definitely years in the future. I mean, that's one of the takeaways that we do have from all the Oculus kerfuffle is that a legit Rift 2.0 is probably spring 2021 at this point. Could we kind of agree on that? Can we all agree on that? That whatever product they did have going, that got axed. They're basically going to start over from scratch. They may have a Rift 2.0, but it's probably 2021. So if you know that for the rest of 2018, there's no legit CV2, for all of 2019, there's no legit CV2, now you might start thinking. You might start thinking about this Pimax 5K Plus. You might start thinking about the Samsung Odyssey Plus and the screen door effect reducing technology. By the way, where is the Samsung reviews? How come no one has their hands on the Samsung? I'm kind of disappointed in that. Sweeviver, Sebastian, you guys get shit the day it comes out. Where are you guys with that? Because we don't have it. So, a little bit disappointed in that we don't have the reviews on the Samsung. Jim Hall says Pimax prices are way too high, and SAMIK81 says the 5K Plus is less than the Vive Pro. That is true, right? That is true. That is kind of crazy. It is less than the Vive Pro. Hussein X says, I watched the Lone Echo VR trailer on Go. Worked flawlessly. Good 5K res work. Yeah, it's funny. You watch that trailer on your Oculus Go and you're thinking to yourself, well, hell, why can't they have Lone Echo on the Go? But you don't realize, no, they're basically rendering it in a certain way where it seems like it's a real game that's running, but it's not. But they do a very effective job of that. It is really impressive. Paul Smith says Lone Echo is great. He played it, and then it cut off for me. Dr. Freeman, what is up? He is in the building. And John Shrubik says, but you need a kick-ass GPU too. Yeah, see, that's the other critical thing. When we go over here to the Pimaxes, they pretty much should pair this with a 2080 Ti because it seems like you kind of need that. You can't just buy that. I mean, I got a 1080 Ti. Even if I upgraded my motherboard and I got a brand new Intel CPU that's halfway decent, I got some real modern day legit RAM. And I got to tell you, folks, I'm tempted to go down that road. I really am. I want to go down that road. And so that might be closer than I ever thought. I didn't think I'd be doing a complete rebuild of my PC, but I think I'm going down that road. But even if I did all of that, my 1080 Ti isn't enough for this 5K plus. I'm not really going to get the benefits of this 5K plus. So I got to buy an entirely new GPU on top of this. So it's kind of like a $2,000 deal, right? This is $700, and then you kind of need $1,300 on a 2080 Ti. It's more than that, right? So your tax and everything, you're going over $2,000. It is a $2,000 investment. Now, on the flip side of the coin, there is the Samsung Odyssey Plus, which I'm still kind of excited for the Samsung Odyssey Plus. I know it's not, it doesn't have this gigantic field of view and it's not this like much higher resolution and all the extras that Pimax has, but Samsung is a solid company. It's a company you can believe in for sure. And, that anti-screen door technology, that slight bump in resolution, that might be really nice. You know what, guys? I made a terrible mistake. I forgot to eat some more food before the start of this show, and my stomach is growling like a mofo. So apologies for any stomach noises that come through. Okay, so I do have Syren on the screen here. And let's see, why did I have Syren on the screen? There's a reason I had it on the screen. Hold on a second. I'll find out for you guys. Let's see. I think it's coming to PlayStation VR. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I'm going to switch over here real quick to Arthans VR or Art Hands VR. Not sure how to pronounce it. Maybe if Vincent Teo could sometime come into chat and let us know how we properly pronounce that. But we like your website. You definitely update a lot of updated information, very bare bones, but updated. And Syren is coming to PlayStation VR in November. So scheduled for November 6th, Syren is heading to PlayStation VR. Now, this has already been on Oculus and Steam for quite some time. I've never played it. I haven't really heard much about Syren. Like, you don't hear many people talk about Syren on the Rift or on the Vive, so I'm not sure how good this game is, but it is heading to PlayStation VR. So just wanted to mention that really briefly. Let's see here. We have some other stuff to get into. What were some of my other topics I wanted to get into? Okay, Star Shelter. This game is out. We can check this trailer out real quick. This is from Overflow. This has actually already been out for a little while, but it's kind of in the news a little bit. Let's check out. I'll go to a full screen real quick.
But you can call me Pi. This station has suffered some major damage, but I believe you can fix it and get us out of here. To fix the station, you'll need materials. There's plenty of wreckages floating around that you can scavenge. Alert. A cluster of comets is incoming. Oxygen level depleted. Wake up procedure initialized.
Alrighty, folks, I had to break out the emergency banana. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see here. Star Shelter. This game is available. I don't know too much about this, but you know what? I'm going to bounce over here to the Steam page. This is Star Shelter. Very positive on the reviews. 124 reviews already. The developer is Overflow. The normal price for this is $15. It's currently 10% off. You can get it for $13.49. This promotion runs through October 30th. The trailer didn't seem all that impressive to me, but looking at some of these screenshots, it looks pretty cool. It looks kind of like a poor man's Lone Echo or something like that, you know, but looks kind of interesting. Reminds me a little bit of From Other Suns to a slight degree. But yeah, that is Star Shelter. And the reviews are very, very good. It's kind of surprising how much hype this game is getting. So that is Star Shelter. Did want to mention that really quick. Okay, let's see here. What else do we want to go to? I think I might have had maybe another trailer to get into. And hold on a sec. Oh, you know, well, one thing we can mention, this is just very quickly. So The Climb, this is something Paradise mentioned this in the chat yesterday, that Crytek has confirmed that The Climb is going to be coming to the Oculus Quest. And this is definitely good news, because it's good news really because of the CryEngine itself. So if Crytek is bringing The Climb to the Oculus Quest, it is basically going to really be dialing in its Crytek engine for the Snapdragon 835. So it's going to, that's good news for anything that comes down the pipe eventually that might use the CryEngine and work on the Oculus Quest. And it could provide hope that Robinson the Journey could possibly be converted to the Oculus Quest at some point, if they can get that running on the 835 as well. So that is good news. We are finding out slowly but surely more Quest games are being confirmed. So just wanted to mention that real quick, but that was actually news that happened yesterday. And let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, well, Alvin Wang Graylin, he is in the news as well. Somebody tweeted at him, "Do you let people buy extra 2.0 base stations?" And he replied and said, soon. So apparently what I do understand is HTC has just started selling the controllers separate, the blue controllers to match the HTC Vive Pro. You can actually buy those separately now. You cannot buy the brand new 2.0 base stations separately, but supposedly that is coming. So Alvin Wang Grayland has mentioned that. Okay, let me go ahead and switch up to another trailer. And then we'll go ahead and check some of the news around town. Let's see here. I'll just throw in Electronauts montage. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to check. There are a couple of news stories that are kind of related to HTC as well. So let me go ahead and go over here. So this is on Road to VR. HTC quietly opens a flagship Vive store in China. And these are some pictures of this flagship Vive store. It's mainly showing off the Vive Focus. It has some of their higher end phones, and it also has like the HTC Vive Pro and some other products like that. And so here's some pictures that it has. The store sells all of the company's latest products, including HTC Vive Pro, HTC Vive Focus, and a number of HTC's latest used series smartphones. And there is a service center that is also available right in the store. How about that? Wouldn't you love to have an actual service center that you could go to physically and raise hell for them to finally fix your click pads or anything like that, your track pads? Okay, here's a picture. You can actually rent usage of the HTC Vive Pro and maybe even the Vive Focus as well, and a group session and stuff. It says a single 15-minute experience with Vive Pro can be purchased for $8.50. So yeah, you can get 15 minutes, man, with Beat Saber, Arizona Sunshine, and McLaren's F1 VR simulator. I don't know. It sounds kind of pricey, but yeah, this is their new flagship store. I probably should have grabbed this trailer here, but I didn't. But yeah, that is in the news. Let's see what else Road to VR has going on their website right now. Oh, here is big, huge news. I just saw this right now. Oculus brings screencasting to Oculus Go. This is prime time, because let me tell you, I've been waiting for this for a long time, because you could be doing something in your Oculus Go and nobody knows what the hell you're doing. So it kind of sucks that you can't share the screen somehow. Now available in beta through the Oculus mobile app, users of Oculus Go can stream a live view of VR experiences directly to your smartphone or tablet. That's kind of cool on the tablet aspect, because you might be able to get a better view on a tablet. So I never thought about putting the Oculus mobile app on my tablet, but now that's something I probably will do, because this is really nice. So that if you're giving somebody a demo, the headset and your tablet need to be on the same Wi-Fi network. You're just a quick tap away from streaming your content, the company says. So that is really cool. That is big news. I will hopefully try this out later today and check it out, see how good that works. Also in the news is this game, Failspace, it's starting registration for a closed alpha. And I think it's going to have like cross-platform support for HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, Windows VR headsets as well. The cross-platform co-op game is set aboard a sleek-looking but ultimately breakage-prone cargo, kind of Star Trek bridge crew a little bit, kind of faster than light FTL. It's a little bit like that. Failspace is slated to launch in Q2 of 2019, so they got a new trailer for that as well. I also didn't grab that one. But let's go ahead and go back to chat. Let's see what's going on. Anthony, have you seen the trailer for Failspace? Looks like a more colorful From Other Suns, and it looks like people on a smartphone can join your game as a floating droid helper. Okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and grab it. I can grab it live. That's not a problem. Failspace, is it from... I'm trying to remember the name of the... is it Hipfire Games? Hipfire Games? Because I normally like to go to... Hipfire Games, I think is the name of it. Yeah, Failspace. Here we go. Yeah, I like to go, if possible, to the actual straight-up horse's mouth to get these trailers. And I'll go ahead and copy that in so we get a nice, good version with good sound and everything, rather than doing it through the web browser like that. Okay. Let's see what people are talking about. Fluke says, Anthony, have you seen the trailer for... Okay, yeah, we're covering that. We're going to grab that. Paradise Decay says, Rec Room devs hinted at a Quest launch as well. Hussein X says, I've had the climb in library since August last year from a bundle sale. Did some climbing in Robinson the Journey and can tell the climb should be visually great game. Yeah, Robinson the Journey, actually the climbing mechanic in Robinson the Journey is very similar to the climb. They kind of cribbed off of that. Lethal Weasel VR says extra base stations will probably be $250, and you know what? I don't know that I would doubt that. That is very possible. Okay, so I have the Failspace trailer. Let me go ahead and see if I can grab this. Let's grab this Failspace trailer. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and check this out.
Hey guys. Ooh, we have a new player. Nice hat. I'll use Trevor. Engaging tour ride. Clear. Incoming! Don't worry. I got
Oculus Quest.
Thanks. I owe you one.
Here's pizza.
Thanks. I owe you one.
Cool.
Nice hat. And I'm back. Hey, the ship is still intact. Way to go.
So yeah, it does look very colorful. It does look pretty sweet. That is coming in the second quarter of 2019. Yeah, and it looks pretty damn good. It looks pretty damn good. It looks improved considerably from that first time we saw it. So that is... But yeah, Fail Space does look pretty sweet. Okay, let's see here. What else did I want to get into? I think I had something else I wanted to grab. Let's see here. No, you know what? That might have been, yeah, that was all the stories I had. Okay, so what we could do is we could go ahead and take a look at the Oculus subreddit real quick. We'll see what's going on over there. A lot of Pimax discussion is going on over there. Let's go ahead and switch over to that. Okay, so over here on the Oculus subreddit, the #1 upvoted topic is 10 Hearts, the new VR spin on the classic Lemmings by ex-Lionhead developers. We've seen this. It's not a new trailer. It does look pretty sweet. It does look cool, and it is coming in the very near future. And then, of course, the Pimax pre-order. There's a lot of talk about this. It's showing... Look, if I judged a company by their website page, yeah, that's kind of my theory as well. We're not getting a good connect here. But yeah, I mean, I was talking about this website page earlier today. Of course, a lot of people are going to be hammering this page now, trying to get their orders in. Is anybody in chat actually ordering this right away? Are you guys jumping on Pimax? Can't get onto the website page. So anyway, and then here we got a thread. Holy F, how is transference not like the standard right now? I've been kind of saying this for a while now. I can't believe that transference has not been getting much love at all. They're talking about HTC opening their flagship Vive store in China. Fail Space, of course, is going to be starting their alpha in late December. That is Hipfire Games. Extra 2.0 base stations are coming soon. That's pretty much Zero Caliber, realistic as hell gunplay. I did not grab this, but I was looking at this briefly. It does look pretty sweet. We can just take a look at this real quick, although I probably have an ad or something that has to play first. Yeah, here we go. That's the only downside.
Batter up.
Woo! Whoa! Oh, you got it! Nice!
You're out!
Oh, you know what? I would need to have my desktop volume on as one of my options. But yeah, that's all right. Doesn't look that great. Zero Caliber is coming in early November. Let's see. Where's the store page for Zero Caliber? Yeah, so Zero Caliber is coming on November 9th. So this is coming up. It's got to be a little bit disappointed in the fact that War Dust has really caught on. A lot of people have bought War Dust. And, Zero Caliber is going to have to make quite an impression on November 9th because a lot of recent War Dust buyers might just want to stick with that. So that'll be interesting how that plays out. Okay, I head back over here. Okay, what's going on in chat? Bunch of reviews on Pimax from Los Angeles meetup yesterday. Looking at the Focus makes me want to go to the boys' room. I actually like the look of the Vive Focus. I think it's kind of cool. 5K Plus obviously is the one to get. Some concerns about noticeable distortion more than expected. Yeah, that's if you pay attention to those extreme peripheries, but I would think when you're actually like in the headset for the most of the time, you're not going to be noticing that periphery. So there is that. Sound on your vids are very low. Okay, you know what? The sound, I've got to figure this sound thing out at some point here. Because sometimes when I have the sound where it's really start registering in my headphone, it is ridiculously loud on the actual show, and I'm not trying to do that. And so I'm trying to limit the sound a little bit and dial it in. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the Oculus subreddit the day after D-Day. Let's see here. Let's go to the Oculus subreddit and see what's going on. Oculus reconfirms future version of Rift amid PC cancellation rumors. This is the Ars Technica article that Paradise referred me to. I checked out the article, and, you know, I mean, my take is, of course. What are they going to say? They're not going to say we're abandoning the PC. So, I mean, this is it's a complete non-story in my opinion, because what else would they do? Oculus Go's view can now be mirrored to your smartphone. This is really the biggest news of the day. If this works really good, this is very important, because this is something like, for example, you could be standing in your living room and you could be playing the Oculus Go. You're standing in the middle of the living room. You could have a bunch of people over, like for some little gathering, some little family gathering, and everybody's sitting on the sofas. You're in the middle of the living room. You got your Oculus Go on. You're playing a game, but nobody has any idea what the hell you're doing. So there's no social factor. But if you have it on a tablet and you're passing the tablet around and you're like, hey, look, check it out. You can play a zombie game. And then you let everybody, you know, you're playing Drop Dead or whatever, and you kind of pass the headset around and let other people try it. That is huge. So that is a real game changer from the social entertainment factor of the Oculus Go. This is a big deal in my opinion. Okay, apparently Joe Rogan has been talking about VR quite a bit in a number of different podcasts. I have not had a chance to check this out, but I do want to check this out later. I'd be very curious to see Joe Rogan's take on everything. And then, of course, the Pimax pre-orders, they are out. They are available. You can go ahead and grab it. $700. The 5K Plus appears to be the way to go. There's also, like, a lot of people are talking about this little poster here. I looked at it. I'm not all that. I mean, it's okay. I get it. It's like a play on Star Wars. Like, I get it. Zuck is Darth Vader. You know, I guess Obi-Wan is Carmack. You know, there's a Reeb, Nate Mitchell, random Rift guy, random DK2 girl, and Palmer. And, you know, I mean, it's a cool little it's a cool little poster by Donnie Tamazzoni. You know, it's decent, but I think it's a bit overrated. But and then, of course, yeah, we did the fail space thing. And yeah, that's pretty much what's going on here. Oculus says future Rift hardware is coming despite Aribe's exit. Yeah, we know all about that. Let me bounce over to PlayStation VR really quick. See what folks are talking about in PlayStation VR. PlayStation VR is kind of like the forgotten platform. You know, it was all Astrobot all the time. We've kind of gotten over Astrobot a little bit, although it's still freaking ridiculously amazing. But we haven't talked a lot of PSVR lately. But Syren is coming to PSVR. And that's about it. The Persistence. Yeah, I need to get into the Persistence. Persistence update. Farpoint gave me PTSD. That is kind of a harsh title. I'm guessing the guy's just joking, but probably shouldn't be joking about that type of shit. But anyway, that's pretty much what is going on the subreddits. Of course, I can always take a quick check at Upload VR and see what they got going on. Vox Machina Guide, how to play every mech class. The Pimax pre-orders, Heavy Fire Red Shadow review. I believe that is on PSVR, lowering the bar for VR wave shooters, so they're not fans of that. The Oculus Go view can now be mirrored. I definitely want to try that out a little bit later today. And the climb on Oculus Quest will include the full game. Really, the most exciting thing about this, in my opinion, is CryEngine. It's CryEngine being ported to the Oculus Quest. That is the exciting thing, in my opinion. Okay, let's see what folks are talking about over here in chat. Shurzad Khan City says, I'm jumping off Pimax to the Quest. John Shrubuk says, early access is an off-putter. Many never get finished. Yeah, my take, John, when it comes to early access, this is the way I look at it. If you're selling a game, if you're taking people's money, you're open to criticism. Like, some people actually get upset at me for reviewing an early access game. They'll say, like, how can you review an early access game? Look, if somebody is selling money for something, they are open to criticism, period. So if money is coming out of your wallet, you better be sure what you're doing. It's not a donation. It's not a trial. If money is leaving your wallet, you're buying something, whether it's early access or not. Now, in my personal opinion, I would say most early access games get some minor enhancements. To me, it's more rare that an early access game is completely different by the time it comes out of early access. To me, that is rare. Usually, what you see is what you get for the most part. You might get some extra things added in. Look, I know there's exceptions, and I know everybody's going to dial in on the exceptions, but typically that's been my belief when it comes to early access. Let's see here. There will be a San Fran Pimax meetup. Don't watch the Joe Rogan one, Anthony? No, every once in a while I do watch Joe Rogan. Like I watched the Joe Rogan Elon Musk one. I've watched a couple of them where he had like some like physicists on and they were talking about like dark matter and shit like that. Like Joe Rogan, he has a number of interesting podcasts. I have seen a number of them, especially the Elon Musk one was very interesting. And there's other ones where he's talking about like AI and like all this future stuff. Like he's kind of into like a lot of future stuff. It's pretty cool. Jim Hall says, I'm sure if Anthony contacted Pimax, they would lend him one to test. Supposed to be for backers only. Yeah, I have not tried to reach out to Pimax. I mean, I guess I could do that. I just don't like the idea of getting something, testing it, and shipping it back, and then them saying, hey, man, you broke it. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't worry about that. Hussein X says, seen your Back to Dinosaur Island vid upload, PD. Looks really good. Yeah, check that out. Anthony should take a trip to San Fran on October 30th. He doesn't seem too interested in Pimax. Well, I'm interested in Pimax, but I don't see myself buying a Pimax. Now, if there's someone in Sacramento that gets their hands on the 5K Plus and I can go over to their house and try it out for an hour, I would love to do that. But see, the thing about the Pimax for me is I think about it selfishly from my own personal angle of, am I buying a 5K Plus? I'm probably not, because I don't have lighthouses. I don't have controllers. It's just I don't have a 2080 Ti. So if I buy a Pimax 5K Plus, that sends me down an entirely different rabbit hole that I'm not prepared to go down, because I'm not getting a 2080 Ti. And I would want 2.0 base stations. I'd want to kind of start with the future, basically, and I'd want some knuckles. So it's just kind of a bad timing situation for me. So really what I would have to do is I'd probably have to look at, if I were to go down the Pimax route, I would have to buy a used Vive. So it would be $700 for the 5K plus buying a used Vive just to get base stations and controllers to use temporarily, and then also buying a 2080 Ti. So add all that up, it's like $2,600. So don't think I'm going to go down that road. But if somebody in Sacramento gets a 5K Plus, I absolutely would love to come over and check it out for a couple hours, or for an hour, sample a couple of different games, maybe do an A/B comparison. Like I could bring my PC along as well and another headset, kind of do an A/B comparison. That would be sweet. I'd love to do that. But I don't think I'm going to be driving to San Francisco in the immediate future. But, that is cool that it is available there. Oh, CJ, is the world still burning? CJ is back in the house. Anthony, I hope you have come to your senses. Well, CJ, you're going to have to go back and watch the beginning of this stream. And in some ways, I'm doubling down. I still feel what happened yesterday is a major blow. It's a major blow what happened yesterday. I truly believe that. But here's what I was telling everybody, CJ. I was saying, look, we're not going to feel the effects of what happened at Oculus on the inside. We're not going to feel those effects in 2018, and we're probably not going to feel those effects for the majority of 2019. It isn't going to be until 2020, and the only real effects that we're going to see is that AAA games that are sponsored by Oculus. Those, in my opinion, are gonzo. I don't think we're going to get one in 2020 or 2021 or 2022. I think all of that money will be going towards Quest 2. That's where they're going to go. But that doesn't mean PC VR is dying. That is just one very small sliver of it's a major part of PC VR. But everybody that has a Vive and doesn't use Revive, nothing's changed for them. They're still getting all the Steam games that they're normally going to get. They weren't getting Lone Echo 2 anyway, unless they were using Revive. They're not getting Red Matter anyway, unless they're using Revive. They're not playing Marvel Powers United VR anyway. And some of them don't do it even if they have Revive because they feel like the translation isn't very good. So we have an entire category of PC VR gamers that aren't touching any of those Oculus exclusives. And that's really the only thing that's going to change, and it's not going to change until probably 2020. So PC VR is not dying. PC VR got clipped in its kneecap pretty damn bad. Somebody took an aluminum bat and just bam, right on the kneecap, and it's pretty freaking painful. That hurts. That's a lot of money that Facebook was throwing around with reckless abandon, and now that money's going to be more dialed in towards Quest specific experiences that are going to really tap in to all the capabilities that Quest has and really try to highlight that. So the sky is not necessarily falling, but it's also not a non-story. So that's my theory there. But anyway, guys, you know what? I am absolutely starving. The show is starting to grind to a halt anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. My stomach is growling again. I went to the emergency banana and it was not enough. My stomach has already started growling. So that's going to go ahead and do it for today's episode. Be sure to go ahead and check out the website. I do need to update a bunch of lists on the website. I absolutely do. I know that. And thanks for subscribing to the channel. Go ahead and like the video, and I will be back tomorrow on Thursday with another episode. I'm going to try the Oculus mirroring with my Oculus Go. I'm going to download the app on a tablet. I'm going to check this out. I hope it is super awesome. I think it could be a potential game changer for the social aspect of the Oculus Go. For casuals. Yeah, casuals. All right, guys. See you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. Later.